Welcome back to English 4.0, the radio show. Let's go! Advanced.
Hello and welcome back to the program. Welcome to Advanced Class number 52. Number 152, excuse me. And I'm here joined once again by my friend Marissa. How are you, Marissa?
Very good, thank you.
Great, great. Thanks for coming in. Today we're going to start with a little review of the material we were practicing yesterday. And we had that translation list. We got started, but we didn't have time to finish it. I guess you could say we got carried away with the other content, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get into that. But first, the other thing we saw yesterday was to move on. Avanzar. Progresar, right? To move on. To move on. So we had a few questions. Give me an affirmative answer. For example, did they move on to the budget issues?
They moved on to the budget issues.
Yes, they moved. Yeah, give me the yes.
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 They moved on to the budget issues.
Okay. Did they settle everything before moving on?
Yes, they settled everything before moving on.
Sometimes, is it difficult to move on sometimes?
Yes, sometimes it is difficult to move on.
Yes. Ask me if I found it difficult to move on. From my, let's say, from my breakup with my girlfriend. Ask me if it was difficult to move on. We have it's almost like one of those, advice shows here. You can give me some advice to help me calm my mind and become more at peace with myself. So ask me if it was difficult. Ask me if I found it difficult to move on.
Have you found it difficult to move on?
Well, the thing is, I moved on. I got over it, right? There's another expression, to get over, like to get better, to recover from something. I got over it. So it's in the past. It's finished. So ask me in the past. Ask me if it was difficult for me to move on.
Was it difficult for you to move on?
Yes, it was. It was difficult for me to move on. But I moved on. I just stayed optimistic, right? Like what we were talking about yesterday. I stayed optimistic and I moved on, right? Okay, well, speaking of moving on, let's move on to our translation list. All right.
Translation.
All right, it's time for translation list number 54. List number 54 today. This is a review of yesterday. But we only saw the first 4 in the last class. So this time we'll get through the whole list. Number 1. Quiero una propuesta por escrito.
I want a written proposal.
I want a written proposal. Nice. No problem, especially after seeing it yesterday, right? I want a written proposal. Okay. Vaya al grano.
Get to the point.
Get to the point. And what was the expression we said? Stop.
Beating around the bush.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Stop beating around the bush. Yeah. Stop beating around the bush, Kyle. Get to the point. Vaya al grano. Get to the point. All right. Esto es el meollo de la cuestión.
This is the heart of the issue.
Nice. The heart of the issue. Or the heart of the...
Matter.
Of the matter, yes. Hagamos un trato.
Let's make a deal.
Let's make a deal. It sounds like a game show expression. Let's make a deal. Wasn't there a game show called Let's Make a Deal? I think so. I think in the United States. Let's make a deal. Number 5. Nunca hago tratos con gente como tú.
I never make deals with people like you.
I never make deals with people like you. I never make deals with people like you. Oof. The next one is sad, but I have to do it. El bebé murió al nacer. The baby died at birth. Very sad. Sorry about that. Si quieres impresionarle, enséñale esto.
If you want to impress him, Show him this.
If you want to impress him, show him this. Show him this. Los ascensos aquí se basan en el mérito y nada más. Los ascensos. So in a company, los ascensos. Promotions, yes. Se basan en.
The promotions are based on.
Promotions are based on mérito. It's just like the Spanish.
Merits.
Merit. Y nada más. And nothing else. Is that true in most companies, do you think? Promotions are based on merit and nothing else?
I hope it's true.
I hope it's true, but in reality, I don't know. A lot of people you say enchufes, right? People can kind of pull strings, we say. You have some connections. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, it should be. I think promotions should be based on merit and nothing else. No dejes que te pongan nervioso. No dejes que te pongan, so ellos, nervioso.
Don't let them make you nervous.
Don't let them make you nervous. Yeah. Don't let them make you nervous. Nervous. It's interesting, you know. Spanish people, I find often say, it makes me nervous, like de los nervios, right? But in English, we wouldn't say, for example, that coffee, I would never say coffee makes me nervous. I would say it gives me energy, or it makes me maybe hyperactive, or it makes me fidget. We say when someone can't move, can't stop moving, they're fidgeting. You know, they're always moving uncontrollably. They're moving their hands. They're fidgeting. But you get nervous, for example, if you have to speak in front of an audience. Are you nervous now a little bit?
Maybe a little bit.
It's normal to get nervous. I think everybody gets nervous when they come on the radio, or but it's worse to speak in front of an audience. To get nervous, you know. Do you get nervous when you speak in front of an audience?
Yeah, I get nervous.
Yeah. So to be nervous, or to get nervous, but we don't normally say in English, "Oh, the coffee made me nervous." No, it gave me the shakes. I was shaking. Have you ever started shaking from drinking so much coffee?
No, I haven't.
When I started, I never drank coffee until I was about 17. I never drank coffee. In Canada, young people don't drink coffee very, very much, really. And I started working in a job, and I found I was tired, so I started drinking coffee. But if I drank too much, I could notice that my hands were shaking. And I said, the coffee gives me the shakes. It makes me shake. It makes me shake. It makes me tremble, right? But I wouldn't say it makes me nervous. No, I get nervous when I speak in front of an audience, but I get the shakes when I drink too much coffee. But that's a fairly casual term, the shakes, of course, right? Anyway. Okay, le gusta hacer comentarios sarcásticos.
He likes to make sarcastic remarks.
He likes to make sarcastic remarks. Yeah. He likes to make Do you know anyone who likes to make sarcastic remarks?
Yeah, I know a lot of people.
Yes. Does your boyfriend like to make sarcastic remarks?
Yes, he loves it.
To make sarcastic remarks, yeah. No le hagas caso. Oh, maybe that's something you've learned. No le hagas caso.
Ignore him.
Well, yeah, ignore him. Or don't pay any
attention
to him. Yeah. Hasta ahora siempre he confiado en él.
So far, I've always trusted on him. No, trusted him.
Nice. She caught it. She knew it, and she grabbed it. There's no preposition there. So far, or up to now, so far, or up to now, I've always trusted him. Hasta ahora. Mm-hmm. So, up to, we can say, sometimes we have until, until versus up to. Remember that up to is very often used. Until is only used with time, right? We'll be here until 5 o'clock, for example. But up to. I read up to chapter 5 of the book. I read up to page 57. I saw up to episode 12 of the series, for example. But here, up to now, hasta ahora, we say up to now. Up to now. I've always trusted him. Okay. All right, there we go. So our little review of yesterday's translation sentence. And now as we move into the new material, we have our expression of the day. Are you ready for this?
Yes, I am.
All right, the expression of the day.
Expression of the day.
All right, it's time for the expression of the day. Our expression of the day is, the tables have turned. The tables have turned. What does that mean? The tables have turned, or the tables are turned. Have you heard that expression before?
No, I haven't.
It basically means that we have reversed roles. We have changed positions. We have changed roles. So if one person depends on it, or one person, imagine John is Peter's boss. And then Peter gets a big promotion from someone else, and he becomes John's boss. He can say, aha, I'm your boss now, John. The tables have turned. So now, imagine they're kind of, maybe they don't have a good relationship, and then all of a sudden the second guy, he has some power. So the tables have turned. There has been a shift in power, let's say. The tables have turned. Aha! The tables have turned. So a shift or a change of roles, right? Right? So today I'm the teacher, but if it came to teaching Spanish, you could say, aha, Kyle, the tables have turned, right? Yeah. You know? So the tables have turned is our expression of the day. The tables have turned. Some people say the tables are turned. In a moment where there's an abnormal sort of change in power or position. All right, but it's time to move on to talk about something new, which is now we're going to talk about later on. So what are you going to do later on? Later on, what are you going to do?
Later on, I'm going to have dinner.
Okay, all right, okay. How do you say, iba a llamarla, pero más tarde cambié de opinión. Cambié de opinión.
I was going to call her, but later on, I'll change my mind.
Yeah, I changed my mind. I was going to call her, but later on, y más tarde, later on, I changed my mind. Yes. Nos vemos luego. See you.
Later.
Later, or later on. I'll see you later on. Yeah, you could simply say, I'll see you later. This is one of these prepositions that really, the meaning doesn't change very much. We say later on. I'll see you later. The same with the first one. I was going to call her, but later I changed my mind. It's kind of like the phrasal verb, very often phrasal verbs with the preposition up. The up is often unnecessary, like to call him up. I called him. I called him up. It doesn't really change the sense. Very often that occurs with the preposition up. But here, it's the same thing happening. Later on, más tarde. Okay? So let's practice here. I'll give you some information. You can give me a sentence using later on, all right?
Okay.
So we can go to dinner and the cinema.
We can go to dinner and later on we can go to the cinema.
Okay. I went to the party and I went to visit Mary.
I went to the party and later on I went to visit Mary.
Okay. I spoke to the marketing department and I spoke to the boss.
I spoke to the marketing department and later on I spoke to the boss.
Yeah. I spoke to the marketing department and later on I spoke to the boss. All right. Good. I think we should move on to make sure that we don't run out of time. Let's move on and talk about our vocabulary of the day.
Vocabulary of the day.
All right. It's time for the vocabulary of the day. Now here we have a short little structure. Tener en cuenta. Not just one word. Tener en cuenta. How do we say that? To
Take it into account.
To take into account, sure. And or also to keep
In mind.
Keep in mind. Keep in mind. If you're going to eat now, okay, but keep in mind, we're having a big dinner later on, right? For example. Incapacitado. If you have well, maybe you have an accident and you become impaired, okay, or disabled as well, disabled, right? Confianza en uno mismo. Very important.
Self-confidence.
Yes. Do you think self-confidence is important for learning a language?
I think self-confidence is important.
I think so, yeah. It's important for many things, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Autosuficiente. Autosuficiente. How do you say that in English? Auto. So imagine auto.
Self.
Self. Suficiente. Sufficient.
Okay.
English is easy, right? Self-sufficient. Say it again.
Self-sufficient.
Self-sufficient, yes. Like certain little communities are have you heard about these little villages that are these self-sufficient villages? I've heard of these in the south of Spain where they produce their own, they have gardens and they grow all their own food. They kind of like a little commune. I've heard of that. Someone was telling me about this. Little self-sufficient. Anyway. Hacer puente. I think that would be a good idea. Hacer puente. We say in English, to take a long weekend. Because really we don't have this concept of hacer puente because we typically shift the holidays so that the holidays fall on the Friday or the Monday. So if a holiday comes on a Thursday, we would usually make it be the Friday instead of taking the puente, you know what I mean? So we simply say to take a long weekend. Do you often travel when you have long weekends?
Yeah, I often travel when I have long weekends.
Uh-huh. Did you go anywhere on a long weekend recently?
I went to Salamanca.
Okay, very good, very good. On a long weekend?
Yeah, on a long
Okay,
weekend.
good. On a long weekend, good, yes. I haven't traveled for a while on a long weekend, but I like long weekends. So hacer puente, to take a long weekend. We're all out of time. We've run out of time. And not just saying, yes, Kyle, you are out of time. It's time to finish, but we'll be back tomorrow with more. Thanks for joining me, Marissa.
You're welcome.
And we'll be back tomorrow with more. Same time, same place. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.